gonna show you how to the second fermentation of your kombucha tea today. Second fermentation is the process to make tasty fizzy drinks, while first fermentation is the process of turning sweet tea to tart kombucha tea by SCOBY. After first fermentation, you can flavor your kombucha tea with additional ingredients such as fruits, juice, or herbs you desire. Then let it continue to ferment in a tightly sealed glass bottle like a filter bottle. After the tea is kept, natural carbonation builds in the bottle. This time, I'm gonna create 3 different flavors with fresh fruit, frozen fruits, and herb powder. All you need is kombucha tea from the first fermentation, chopped mango, frozen blueberries, chopped lemon, ginger powder, and airtight glass bottles. Before you start bottling, reserve some kombucha tea with the SCOBY, because you need some starter tea for your next batch. It should be about 10% of the total culture medium. If you add this starter tea to the tea base, the SCOBY will float happily and settle easily in it. Add some lemon, mango, blueberries into each bottles, and then add ginger powder into the bottle with lemon. Fill the bottles up to 70% with kombucha tea and fill tightly with a lid. Keep it in a dry, dark place at room temperature. It will take about 2 to 7 days to ferment, depending on the temperature of the area and your taste preferences. Then you can check if your kombucha tea is done by burping, quickly opening the bottle and closing back. Once the second fermentation process is completed, both in carbonation and flavor, store the bottles in a fridge. Now, I'm going to tell you about important tips to know for a successful second fermentation. About flavoring. There are no rules about what and how much amount you must use for flavoring your kombucha tea. You can use any fresh frozen dried fruit, juice, herbs, honey, maple syrup, and even essential oil as much as you want. You can flavor anything you want. I've added freshly squeezed orange juice, and my family and I really love this flavor. Also, you can use with mixed ingredient. For example, you can flavor by adding a mixture of ginger powder, lemon juice, and honey in a bottle. But if you want only flavoring without carbonation, simply add a flavoring ingredient in a bottle and fill it with the first fermented kombucha tea. Then cover it with a lid and store in a fridge immediately. About bottles. The bottle you use is very important. You need to use airtight glass bottles and seal as tight as possible for kombucha tea carbonation. I recommend you to use filter bottles. At first, I used reusable twist-off cap bottles and couldn't get successful carbonating for my first one because they couldn't seal properly. I tried again with a filter glass bottle. Then it could tightly seal and hold carbonation created inside the bottle. And finally, I could successfully make my own beautiful fizzy drink in 5 days. It was a fantastic experience. I really recommend you to give it a go as well. About carbonation. The more sugar your kombucha tea has for flavoring, the faster the carbonation will build. Because the yeast eats sugar and produces carbon dioxide in the bottle, and the carbon dioxide trapped in the bottle creates bubbles when the bottle is opened. So you should carefully check to avoid overcarbonation regularly. It's a good idea to buff the bottles every day. If you want only carbonation without flavoring, just transfer your kombucha tea in an airtight glass bottle and tightly seal the bottle. Then keep it at room temperature until reaching the level of carbonation you desire. Then store it in fridge. Now you know, in the cool temperature the yeast go into hibernation and stop acting on the sugar. I made this video based on my own experiences and questions I'd had as a beginner to be a getting started guide. If you want to know about making kombucha tea without the SCOBY, with only store-bought organic kombucha tea, then please watch the video how to make homemade kombucha tea part 1. Also, information about benefits of kombucha tea will be available from coming video how to make homemade kombucha tea part 3. 시간이 필요해. 픽이다.